What's going on, everyone? Today, I have a very special guest all the way from Cameroon. Now, for those who don't know what Cameroon is, it's in the continent of Africa because Africa is not like one country, it's a continent with many countries, just because a lot of people think Africa is just one country for some reason. But this brother, his name is Churchill Nanje. Now, he has a tech company, one of the most successful ones in Cameroon, and he has a search engine kind of similar to Career Builder, but it's for those on the African continent that want to find jobs, or maybe some of you who want to move to Cameroon or different African nations and say, you know what, where can I find a job once I get there? Then you can use jorku.com. And this is the man who actually created it. So Churchill, thank you for joining us. How you doing?
Hey, I'm great. Thanks for having me on the show.
So Churchill, tell us, what's inspired you to get the idea to create this website?
Actually, like 5 years ago, my company was having a lot of attrition. A lot of young guys worked for me for, let's say, 2 years, and then they're ready to move on and start their own thing, which is a good thing. And then whenever they left, I was having a very hard time finding new young developers, software engineers to work with. So I decided to build a platform that will help get all the job seekers in Africa online so that I could easily go there and find the people I'm looking for. And I also noticed that a lot of them were looking for work, but they didn't know how to access this information. And I decided, okay, this is a good thing. I can build a platform that will help them find this information, then help them deposit their profiles, create their profiles, and start receiving this information. But at the same time, their profiles will be there for employers like me to go in there and figure out, search through, and find candidates as soon as I need some. Yeah.
So now on the website, is it free? Is it subscription based? How does that work?
Actually, it's free for the professionals. Those who are looking for work, if you're looking for a job, it's free for you. You can search for jobs using the platform all over Africa, and you can actually subscribe to email alerts so that when there are jobs matching your interest, and the platform and the website will email you. Like, if I'm looking for a job as a software developer in Africa, I will just go there and set my profile, and every day the Njoku will go around looking for jobs on all websites in Africa. And when you find something within 24 hours, it notifies me and says, hey, Churchill, I found this job for you in Kenya, or I found this job for you in South Africa, something you've been interested in. So yeah, this is all free for the job seekers. But we generate revenue from advertisers and then from the recruiters. When they're trying to recruit, we give them tools to help them better find the right candidates and manage the whole recruitment process.
So on average, how long does it take people on your website to find work on average?
Usually, for some, that it takes between 2 weeks and 2 months. Some that are really good profiles, it takes less than that. Like they set up a profile today, and in 3 days they get called for interviews. I've had cases like that. I recommend it to somebody through like we're talking and say, hey, just try the platform, put your profile there. When the job alerts come to your mail, just apply. And they'll come back to me after 2 days, hey, I got an interview. And then they might say, oh, I don't really like the job, maybe the pay is not right. And some will say, oh, I'm taking the job. So yeah, it takes between 2 weeks and 2 months.
That's pretty good because like you have different sites here in America, like Career Builder, Indeed, and all the other ones. In the American job market, is very hard for people right now. So it's good that jobs are kind of plentiful out there. How long has your website been in operation?
The website has been in operation for 5 years. We started in 2011. I practically started with just a laptop by myself, and I started writing the code. And I had a brother in the US who bought the servers, and that's how we started. And it has taken us gradually. We have built. It was just a pet project, and over the years, it has grown to become a full blown out enterprise company. Yeah, like a full-blown out internet company. So yeah, we started in 2011, and it's 5 years old.
Now, having great ideas, and just like a lot of people here in the United States have great ideas, maybe similar to yours or other ones. But the one thing that we run into, especially here in America, is funding, is getting someone to invest into what we're doing, like for instance, like us. we're definitely seeking out, investors and funding to help us do, different things that we are trying to do as of right now. So when you had this idea, you talking about the servers and stuff like that. Did people within the Cameroon, or they have different investors in different places that helped you get your website off the ground?
Yeah, this is my second venture. And I've been doing business for 5 years. I have a consulting business before Joko. So I was doing business, and I had all these people I'd worked with across the world, mostly Cameroonians, Africans, even non-Africans. So when I had this idea, I reached out to them. To say you reach out first to your friends and family,
Hmm.
and I reached out to my network and I asked them, hey, I have this concept. I'm working with you, and you can trust me. And whenever we had work to do, I always delivered on time, and I made sure I gave you the best service, and I was always there to if there was a problem to fix. And I really have this idea, and I really want you to come on board. And some of them said, oh, well, it sounds good, but they can't come in. But others said, okay, Churchill, let's give it a try. So that's how I got my initial funding, mostly from people I'd worked with. And over time, when we started getting the press and the media, and some other Cameroonians abroad started reaching out and saying, hey, we like your project. Is there anything we can do to help? Then I'm like, yeah, you guys can always come on board and invest so that we can buy more servers, we can pay for more software developers and things like that. We can get like an office space, and we can run a business. So yeah, it was gradual from my friends. Then what we did with my friends got us to the media, and then the media now made more Cameroonians and more Africans to see what we're doing. And some Cameroonians already wanted to start doing business back home, and the story continues.
So, right now, the position that a lot of us here in America, as African Americans, are in, we definitely want to connect and reach out to a lot of our brothers and sisters in the different African countries, especially within business. We had a company out of Ghana that actually invested $9 million into one of the black-owned banks here in America, and is a lot of opportunity within the African American community to do business, with us here. Now, have you ever considered maybe coming over here and doing, different website, different businesses here in America?
Well, I was in the US in 2012. I had the opportunity to travel like in 5 states, and yeah, I saw a lot of opportunity. But first, I realized one thing in tech and startup is you have to focus. To succeed, you need a great deal of focus. So I just said, okay, I'll have to focus in Africa for a while,
Hmm.
focus and get things right here, grow a sustainable and profitable company. Then I can see how to work with African Americans or Africans in America, and see how we can set up businesses out there, because, well, opportunity is everywhere. But in the US, it's better because you don't have to go around training the market, educating the market. In Africa, practically, we have to educate the market for them to buy or use our products or our services. So I realized in the US it will be easier because you just have to go and set up, and most people already understand because they already use smartphones, and they already have maybe mobile data, and they already have some knowledge of computing and stuff. So marketing out there will be way easier. So yeah, it's something I'd consider. But for now, like I said, focus is very important, and we have to focus, grow something big out of Africa, then we can scale it out later. Or maybe I can dive into other opportunities in America, in the black communities.
Now, some people may, in the audience may want me to ask a few of these kind of questions. So, in Cameroon, you've been over here to the United States of America. What is the difference between those in Cameroon and those here within the black community that you see? Like, is it a similarities? Is it a difference? I mean, we would just definitely like to know that.
Well, the cultures are kind of similar. The cultures are mostly similar, but here in Africa, we still come kind of traditional, and most Africans are not yet exposed to a lot of things, right? And also, well, the dressing too is a bit different, and although Africans are beginning to adopt the American way of dressing, and I don't know how to put this, but here, most people, most Africans, they know that all they have to do is go to school and get the highest education and look for jobs and things like that. And well, maybe, I was in the US for just a couple of weeks, so I couldn't really connect with that. But I think we are kind of similar people. Just that some are still in Africa and some are in the US, and some are more exposed than others.
So if some of us wanted to come to Cameroon, like what would you recommend for us like to stay? Like say, hey, you come visit, come stay here. What do you recommend?
The city I live in is actually very calm and very comfortable, and no traffic jams. It's a small town with like 80,000 people, and so when you come to Cameroon, I think people will love to live here because it's English speaking. Cameroon has two parts. There is the French speaking side, which is 80%. We are like Canada. So, but we are a bit the opposite. In Canada, the minority is French speaking. In Cameroon, the majority is French speaking. So, the English part of Cameroon will be very much comfortable for African Americans who want to move to Cameroon. Yeah. And for those who like cities like New York, it will be nice for them to live in a city like Douala. Although it's practically French speaking, but it's a business city and it's diverse. And then you can speak with everybody in English. Although it will be nice if you know some French. Yeah.
So you say his name Douala. So it's like a lot of skyscrapers and stuff like that.
Oh no, this is Africa. We don't have a lot of skyscrapers. No, man. We don't have the kind of downtown you guys have. We have tall buildings, maybe 20 floors, but not skyscrapers.
Okay,
Yeah, but it's busy. It's busy like New York. I didn't go to New York, but I have an idea of I have just a concept of what I think New York is in the movies and all that, and what I saw in the US. And people told me, if you think this is busy, then go to New York. Then I'm like, okay. So it's a busy city with traffic jams, and everybody is hustling and trying to get to work, trying to catch the next taxi and things like that.
Okay, but there's a lot of people, in this country, and the reason I'm asking these questions who are very uneducated, and they're the ignorant people to think that well, only in African nations, everyone in your country stays in grass huts and nobody has a car, they walk, and I just wanted you just to kind of educate them, about you guys don't live in grass huts, which I know that. I mean, could you explain to them that what kind of lifestyle people live in Cameroon? Because literally, there are people in the U.S. that literally think that everyone in the continent of Africa live in grass huts and everybody's poor and oh, feed the children and all that stuff. So, could you educate people a little bit on the lifestyle in Cameroon?
Yeah, in Cameroon, I think it's practically similar to the US. Like, we don't have skyscrapers, yes, but it's similar. Like, taxis are cheaper here. I can take a taxi. I was shocked that in the US I couldn't take a taxi because it was more expensive. But in Cameroon, what is cheaper is a taxi. Using a taxi is cheaper than owning a car. Yeah, that's another difference I didn't point out. But yes, we live in the same buildings we have in the US, the same buildings we have in Cameroon. And to go from one place to another, we have tarred roads and we have hospitals. We have police officers and. What else? I don't know. We go to school like every other person. We have electricity. We how can, it sounds a bit cliche, but we practically have everything that I saw in the US. Of course, we don't have the chains like McDonald's, or we don't have Target, we don't have Walmart, but we have our own grocery stores. And it's normal for people. Everybody has a smartphone. Everybody has a mobile phone, and we have mobile data. And we go on YouTube and we talk on WhatsApp. And we practically do. We are similar to the communities in the US. Just that our infrastructures are not the same. Maybe our infrastructures are like 20% what you guys have out there.
Yeah, like I said, I know you said some of it's kind of cliche what I was asking, but unfortunately, you have a lot of people in this country who are very ignorant to think that people in African nations don't have beautiful cities, beautiful beaches, like you said, smartphones, computers, nice businesses. Like they don't think that because in American schools they don't show you us that. They don't because they try to keep a propaganda of Africa is so bad, but yet the Europeans won't stay out of Africa, but they don't want African Americans to think Africa is a good place. This is why I want to. I'm glad I'm talking to you, and then you say this because I want our brothers here in America and sisters in America to connect, with our brothers and sisters, in Cameroon and Kenya and Nigeria, Namibia, all the different countries that we have, and see what we can do together in business, and maybe even some of us want to. I would definitely want to eventually come to different African nations. We want to set up an advised media network there, with time. So I definitely, it'd be good to stay in touch and find out what we have going on, at least with you on the tech side.
Yeah, definitely. So, if I can put it, look, we have everything that all the facilities that people have in the US, we have them here. Like people live, we don't live in herds. Maybe in the villages, like in the suburban, the typical suburban areas, you can find some people living in herds, but it's so in the 90s, not today.
Hmm.
Nowadays, even in the villages, we have wooden houses, and I saw a couple of those in the small towns in the US. So it's similar kind of culture, but the only problem at times is when you leave the big cities and you try to go to the villages, it's difficult to navigate because the roads are not good. Like in the rainy season, we have roads, but not suburban roads. I think you guys have those too in the US. And we watch TV, like I watch MTV. I used to watch MTV a lot, and I like music, and I can recite American music. In fact, we are the same people. We are exposed to the same media. We live in the same kind of buildings, and I think housing here is cheaper. Like get an apartment complex, maybe with 2 rooms in Boya, you can get something for less than $100 a month. You see, but it's the same conditions, even maybe a bit newer because here there's a lot of construction going on. Yeah, and our roads are tired, and then we have the American cars, we have the Mercedes cars, and we have people driving all sort of cars out here, and we have street lights. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
well,
don't know
like I
how
say,
to explain
well,
this.
let me explain something. You just notice I say you're exposed to American culture through TV, and that's actually even a problem because the TV in America doesn't paint us in a good light as black people, as African American people. Only if we're entertaining them or doing something stupid, being ignorant, that's fine. But they want to show us as premier business people or doing something real great for our community. You won't see a whole lot of that. Now, you may see the protesting. I'm pretty sure you've seen some of that as a recent with all the police killings that we've been having
Yeah,
here.
that's pretty bad. That hurts me all the time, man. Like just killing black brothers like that is not cool.
And
You know.
so, well, and I'm glad. Let's talk about that. So, and I've seen some other stories out of people. How do you feel constantly watching on American television black people being killed for literally nothing? Yeah, well, how does that affect you?
It gets me really sad, like really sad because I am even scared of coming to the US because of things like that. Like, oh, I could just come and my mom knows the son is on a business trip, and for some reason I get shot.
Hmm.
So it hurts. It hurts to see young people die, people with a lot of potential, people who have the power and the energy to change the world, and they just get to lose your life like that because of maybe a misunderstanding. And I don't know. I'm not in the situation, but when I see it on the news, like on CNN, or when I watch it on Facebook, on YouTube, oh man, it hurts. It hurts because it's not supposed to be the case, man. People have to live in unity and as one, no matter the color, no matter the background, no matter anything.
Because you can see in the U.S. if you have a son or if your wife have a husband or whatever, and now we have to worry about our girls, our women, and our men and our little boys with police who are not doing the right thing. That is a constant thing that we have to worry about here in this nation, and we have to talk to our children. Listen, don't look at a cop this way. Don't respond to a cop this way. Be careful with them. But when we look at our white counterparts, we'll see videos of them cussing the police out, doing all kind of stuff to the police, and yet they don't kill them as fast as they kill us. So we definitely see the stark difference here in America with us as black people, and some white people that we have here in America. Is sad. It shouldn't be that way. Everybody should get along and treat each other right. But unfortunately, this stuff has been going on ever since we was brought over here during the transatlantic slave trade. So this is why we're in the right now. We're trying to unify, and definitely in business. What we're doing is trying to put our dollars in black-owned banks. Um, Now in Cameroon, how many black? Well, I don't even want to say black, the whole country. But how many banks, major banks, do they have in Cameroon?
Well, we have a couple of multinational banks not owned by Cameroonians, but we have a couple of, let's say, from the top of my head, there is one multinational bank owned by a Cameroonian, which serves like 7 African countries, including Cameroon. And there is some other microfinances that serve some regions. We call them regions. You guys call them states.
Hmm.
So we have ten regions here. So there's some other smaller ones that serve like the few regions. I would say we approximately 10 locally owned banks, and then we have close to maybe 20 other banks that come from maybe Nigeria, from Togo, from France. I don't think there's any American bank. No, there's no American bank in Cameroon. But yeah, American companies in Cameroon are mostly in the oil and gas sector. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Churchill, definitely want to thank you for joining us, today on the show. And if any of you thinking about going to Cameroon or you want to look for a job, make sure you check out jorku.com so you can get hired. Because you can't go to Africa and not work. You gotta
Yeah,
have so.
definitely. Yeah, and they can actually be out there in the US, and you can set up alerts like I'm looking for jobs in retail, and every day in Joku they can go ahead and do whatever they're doing, and Joku will be looking for the jobs for them and sending them emails regularly and say, hey, we found these jobs for you in Kenya. Oh, we found these jobs for you in Cameroon. We found these jobs for you in Ghana. And they can just all they have to do then is just read their mail and then select the ones you like and apply. Yeah.
All right, because I know a lot of people trying to get their passport because some people say they worry about Donald Trump. you know,
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people say that. I've heard a lot of people say they're worried about Donald Trump. Yeah.
so people in Cameroon are worried about Donald Trump.
Yeah, I saw that a lot on Facebook lately, and on CNN. Since when the news goes on, like today, they kept talking about some things he did to a Muslim family and something like that, or a crying baby. I don't really pay much attention, but because I have a lot of work, or it's not really my business. Although somehow it's still my business because I have to look at all the black brothers out there. But yeah. A lot of Cameroonians give commentaries on Facebook and they're like, oh, this guy, if he's in power. I actually spent 30 minutes this morning reading a conversation about guys analyzing all the things going on. And they're like, well, if this guy gets in power, we're all finished. kind of.
Yeah, see, so those who watching, even people in Cameroon, is worried about Donald Trump. They said that they think everybody will get finished. With Trump, Trump is crazy. Trump is. Oh, I watched the interview with Trump last night with George Stephanopoulos, and boy, George Stephanopoulos was grilling him, and it was kind of funny to watch him squirm like that. But yeah, if America elects that guy president, to get what they deserve is how I feel about it. But Churchill, like I said, thank you for joining the program. Like I said before, all the way from Cameroon. Definitely stay in touch with us, and hopefully we could partner on different projects.
Yeah, definitely. We have a lot of talent home and a lot of people ready to work, and we have a lot of okay. I didn't specify this part. There is a lot of employment opportunities in Africa, and there are not so many skilled people to fill these roles. So it creates a big gap between the employers and the job seekers. So if we have African Americans with these skills, I'm pretty sure companies in Africa will be very, very happy to have them come and take their business to the next level. Yeah.
All right, so you definitely heard it first. African Americans, if you want some opportunity, they don't have the skills and training, and here in the U.S. they don't want to give you certain jobs because you're more qualified than people without education. You already know how that goes. Seek out if you have the time to go to different African nations. Maybe you can get a job you wish you could have got here. But thank you for joining us, Churchill.
Thank you for having me, and I appreciate that. Thanks a lot.